So, I think the Los Angeles Sparks are off to a good start this season, and that's thanks to Derek Fisher and his due diligence that he did with the Wnba Draft and free agency. So, the biggest pickup for the Los Angeles Sparks was getting Liz Cambage to come to Los Angeles. Now, we know that you heard the talking about Liz Cambage wanting to play in LA. So, what do you know? It finally happened this year. Liz Cambage is in LA. Liz Angeles. I think they should market that. Liz Angeles. That's the major pickup. We also traded with the Atlanta Dream to get none other than Kennedy Hollywood Carter. And we signed Jordan Canada in free agency. And as far as the Wnba Draft goes, we signed Ray Burrell out of Tennessee with our first round pick. And we got Atwater, who was a player that people have been talking about. So, we also got Jasmine Walker back from her knee injury. We have reigning WNBA champion Lexi Brown here this season. Christy Tolliver will be joining once the NBA Finals is over. But for the most part, the Sparks have a pretty decent team. So, first game of the season for the Los Angeles Sparks kicked off on opening night, which was Friday, May the 6th. The Los Angeles Sparks took on the Chicago Sky, the reigning champions. So, I think like 3-4 minutes into the game, Candace Parker got Liz Cambage in the foul trouble. She had like 2 in like the first couple of minutes. Liz Cambage had to go out the game. Candace Parker was dominating that matchup. I think the same thing ended up happening to Shania Boumakin when she came into the game. She ended up being in foul trouble. So, we struggled far as staying out of... So, the Sparks struggled far as staying out of foul trouble. But eventually they went on a run with the help of Lexi Brown off the bench, Kennedy Carter off the bench. Now, they had a run of their own with the second unit. Now, mind you, for the first game, Liz Cambage started, Britney Sykes started, Nneka Boumakin, Atwater, and Jordan Canada. That's your starting 5. Cool. Britney Sykes does what she normally does, defending the best player on the opposing team. She didn't really too much look for her offense, but she did score a little bit. I think she needs to look for offense a little bit more. I think she should be a two-way player. Jordan Canada started heating up in the second half. And she ended up with, I think, 21 points in the first game. And I think it went to overtime for the Sparks to end up winning the game. Ray Burrell played some minutes off the bench. She showed that she could shoot, defend, and hustle and get after it and get on the floor. So she played some good minutes for the minutes that she was in. I think Jasmine Walker is going to have to feel her way back after being out for a whole season. The first game, she didn't really do too much in the first game. It was just a feel your way out and around, being back on the court type of situation for her in the first game. But Jordan Canada had a decent game. Liz Cambage got to figure out the foul trouble with certain matchups. Nneka found her different ways to score. Britney Sykes scored some, but defended very well. That's another thing. Britney Sykes, if she hasn't been on the All-WNBA defensive team, then I don't understand why it hasn't happened. She's one of the best defenders in the league. And she doesn't get the credit or respect for the job that she does on some of the top players. So, last year she came in number 2 to Sylvia Fowles in the Defensive Player of the Year award. But she definitely needs more respect and credit for her defensive ability. So, they ended up winning in overtime. The Sparks ended up winning in overtime opening night. So, Sunday, they ended up playing the Fever today. And I want to say the Sparks kind of had their way in this game. Liz Cambage, there was nobody really that could stop her. Not that shit, like, Queen Abo tried, Melissa Smith tried, but it really wasn't too much they could do with her. I think Liz Cambage is going to see with certain matchups she can be way more dominant and demand the ball more. I think the game today was a prime example of that. She should have demanded and commanded the ball more. Wnba, just the different ways that she can get down in the post and make shots between 2 defenders and rebound between 2-3 defenders. It's just amazing. Kennedy Carter off the bench with the razzle and dazzle on a couple of plays. Like I said, her defense needs to fuel her offense. And on a couple of plays today, it definitely did. You get a different type of game when Kennedy Carter's in the game, more a little flash, a little more swaggy, whereas Jordan Cannon's more straight by the book with a little swag to it, but not the flash that Kennedy Carter gives you. And Lexi Brown gives you a player who can come in and give you a couple of points in different moments of the game. Ray Burrell played. She got after it. I must say, she's very active in the minutes that she's getting. She's not getting a whole bunch of minutes, but she's active and engaged in the game in the minutes that she is. The Sparks also drafted Olivia Nelson-Adota out of UConn, but right now she's out with a hip injury. So that's another player they're going to have to incorporate when she comes back that I think could be good in the second unit with Lexi Brown and Kennedy Carter off the bench. But I think Liz definitely can dominate in a lot of matchups. And she's going to have to do that. Like, she's got to figure out how to defend a player like a Candace Parker who is, like, faster than her by bodying up but not fouling. I think that's the thing that Liz Cambage has yet to really figure out. How do I body up and defend very well with players that are faster than me without bodying too much that I foul? And once she figures that out, she's going to be unstoppable. She's going to be unstoppable. But them as a team, they were clicking today against the Indiana Fever. Indiana Fever really didn't have too much that they can do with the Sparks. They're a more seasoned team, even though they have a lot of new players, but it doesn't seem like they're trying to figure out, where do I get the ball to? Where do I get the ball to? It was more so like, okay, get the ball to this person, they're going to score. Get the ball to that person, they're going to score. Whereas, like, the Fever are still trying to get a feel for each other and where they like the ball at for them to be in position to score. Derek Fisher's doing pretty good with the getting everybody minutes. And that's good. I think the more bodies you have, nobody gets tired, nobody gets injured. If he's playing everybody, that way you have 5 fresh bodies you can throw out there, or 3 fresh bodies you can throw out there. That you're wearing teams down who don't have enough bodies. And sometimes you need to go to the bench to get just a different tempo or spark and run. You know, if the starting 5 is not doing it, you know, what I've noticed is that the Sparks did do, like, the starters played like the first 5-6 minutes, then the reserves came in to like play for like 3-4 minutes, then the starters came back in toward the end of the quarter, and like the rotation of making sure nobody's tired. You know, some of these guys don't play all year round, whereas like some people didn't go overseas for the off season, you know. But if he's playing everybody gets a chance to play, show what they got, what they contribute to the team, and it doesn't overwork anybody. Derek Fisher's doing a good job, you know, because a lot of people had him on the hot seat after Candace Parker announced that she was leaving to go home to Chicago. So I think him getting Liz Cambage could be part of his redemption story in Los Angeles.